Today we're going to be digging a utility line from this telephone pole over on your left over to this billboard overhead. I've got to grease my rig first, and as soon as I do that, we'll get started. Hey, and I am back. I went and got some soda. The reason I wanted to start doing these videos is because I had ordered my excavator last summer, and it was 4 months before it actually arrived. And I couldn't really find any how-to videos. There were videos of people doing different stuff, but none of them explained the thought process behind it, how they analyzed what the job ahead or the different variables that are involved. And so I'm very analytical, and that's the part that I was interested in, is just what goes into planning a job or doing a job, or what kind of equipment do you need besides your excavator. And so I decided to do these videos, and hopefully they'll end up being like everything you wanted to know about being a newbie excavating contractor. And so I'm not doing this for a hobby. I plan to make it a real profession. And so I'm trying to learn all I can about it, and not only the methods, but gosh, how to bid the job, how do you price things. And for instance, I'm digging this trench here. This is a trench 36 inches deep. I haven't measured it yet, but when I get done, I will measure the lineal feet. It's on wide open ground, no obstacles, and I will use that to break it down to basically say how many lineal feet of trench I can do in an hour. And when I go out and bid a job, I can just measure it, determine how many lineal feet there is, what it costs per hour for me to dig my trench, and give people a quote. And I'll be sharing that with you. So as you follow along and I do different projects, I'll tell you how much time I had involved, and basically if I had to bid it, or what we try to do is we try to just do it by the hour, because a lot of times bidding, if you're really in unknown territory, you're just going to guesstimate it and then double it so you don't lose money on it. But if it's a type of project that will have variables in it that are constant from one job to another, we can break those down into units. And so when we go out to the job, we're not guessing. We are actually quantifying the number of units and then just multiplying it by the labor factor. I don't know about your area, but here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, mini excavating work, skid steer work is going for anywhere from $125 to $150 an hour. And so that is the unit that I'll be dividing into the number of feet that I dig to determine my cost per lineal foot. Now, some people will, I think some of the unit prices are out here like $5 a lineal foot. To me, that's a nice round number. I don't know if they make money at that or not, but once I get done with this project here, we'll know. So I'm checking my depth here again. Still need to go down a couple inches. I remember when I was building houses, I always wondered how at that time, the backhoe contractor was always able to line his bucket back up in the ditch so easily. And it just is easy. I don't know what to tell you. It just, the excavator is very fluid, and you can just adjust it so it just moves really slow, or you can make it go quite fast depending on how hard you press on the lever, and you just get the hang of it, and by golly, it just tends to center up on that ditch with I guess your subconscious is adjusting it all the time. But it ended up not being that very hard at all. I'm getting there. Almost there. I got a call on my pipe. See where that's at. I remember watching the moves that the backhoe contractors used to do when I was building homes, especially when they were like digging footings and stuff. They would always flatten out the bottom of the trench for the footing. I always thought that was really cool. I'm still working on that one. Haven't quite got it down yet, but I'm getting close. All this stuff takes practice, and it just ends up being intuitive. Before I was talking earlier, before I got my excavator here, I would look at the YouTube videos and watch how they were in the cab and try to figure out which lever they were moving to do what. Really wanted to kind of brush up on what it was going to be like. But for all my efforts, it never did end up being quite like the real thing. It's way cooler. I ended up getting a tilt trailer, and that's a story in itself. And for my size excavator, it is perfect. It's, I believe it's 18 feet, so the bed is 16 feet, and then it's got another 2 feet in front. Okay, so I've kind of painted myself into a corner here. Behind me is the pole. I could try to go beside it and dig, or I can start right where I'm at and straddle the ditch and follow it all the way back to there, and then dig that. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to lower my blade here so I can actually scrape the top of this as I go back, and it'll level it out. And then I'll also, as it knocks stuff in the dirt, I'll go back through and drag this out, drag the trench out as I go. So here's the center. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but the right here is the center of the ditch. But that really doesn't help me because I've got to have the treads down the center of the ditch. So from where I'm sitting, this one edge of the that edge of the blade, if I run that along the ditch, my treads are pretty much centered because this cab sets to one side of center. So I'm going to drive down here a little bit, and then I'll go backwards and see where my treads are on the... whoa! I am going in the ditch. Yep. So I don't think I went in it. I think it caved in on me. The gravel. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. The whole... I'm in almost 18 inches from the edge, and the whole bank just gave in. So I push in on my bucket, and then I have to ease the whole thing backwards as I'm also putting pressure on my bucket. And I'll come back again. Wow, that made a mess. So maybe I won't be able to do that. All right. So I've been in this situation before. And so let me see if I can reach out here and clean this ditch out. And I guess I am going to have to get out at this end and try to finish it up from this end and then go back around. The only way you can really traverse a ditch like this is when the sides are compacted well, and obviously this gravel that was hidden doesn't support the tractor. Whoop. Picked up an old water line or something. Another wasted one. So I'm right tied up against this billboard post here, right there. So I'm going to have to get out of this position and trying to dig from behind the billboard post. So I'm going to try to dig under the excavator here, even if it's just a couple feet. And that way I won't have to reach quite as far from behind the post, because I don't know once I'm behind it if I can reach that far. It is stuck. Well, let me see if I can go find a piece of concrete to bang this on. This road will work. Come on, baby. There we go. Much better. Okay. So here's my ditch coming right up alongside, so I gotta actually sneak around as close as I can here. Well, that's no good. Aha, huge footing. So this billboard has a gigantic footing. It must go out about 3 feet, 4 feet from the base. I don't know how that's going to affect our conduit because we can't get right up alongside it. Well, I've got the last bit of the ditch to dig out, so I'm going to go set up for that. Over here is a little button right here. Puts it into high gear. So I just tend to hit it. That's a little beep sound. And then when I want to turn it off, so I've got to line up with this ditch here. And hopefully the sides won't cave in. So let's see. I'm going to have to pull the skirt back because I'll have to be over on top of that, I think. Let's see, maybe I can dig part of it this way. Turn the air conditioner down, maybe we can hear in here. This ground looks a little more stable at this end. Hopefully I'll be able to straddle it before it caves in on me. So what I'm doing here is I don't know that you can tell it in the video, but I'm facing downhill quite a bit. It's like there's a little bit of a berm here near the chain link fence, and so I like to always dig at the excavator level, so I just push down on the blade and it'll raise it up to level, and then I can continue digging. Likewise, if I'm going downhill backwards, I will put the blade on the back side of me and raise it up so that I'm level. Okay, so I'm straddling this ditch using the inside of the blade right here, right there, as my guide. Looks pretty good. So now I got to get under this ditch. I think I'm just going to try to wedge my bucket underneath the fence. This soil right here is really dense. So when I put my bucket down and I feel a lot of resistance, I just kind of wiggle it like this, and it's kind of like, I guess, working your way in to the dirt, kind of like that. And it seems to cut better than to just continue to pull. Okay, so instead of pulling this to me right here, I'm going to push it back. Because all I'll do is continually to pull it underneath me. So what I'm doing right here is I'm actually digging deeper than what I need to have. And then this here I can just drag back in there. All right. I think we're there. Now I got to get underneath the fence over to this pole here. All right, so again, I'm going to dig it deeper right here than it needs to be. And then I'll just push this leftover in it instead of trying to get it perfectly clean with the bucket. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, now I got to get out of here. Haven't had much practice at this. Let's see. Oh. That means I got to climb down there and dig it out. Not too bad, really. Let's see if I can push it backwards. hitting the camera with my head. Alright, so I've got weight on the back, so I just have to lift the front end up and go backwards, he said. Whoa, I just broke down. Didn't have enough in. So I gotta spin it around somewhere. Okay, there we go. So I don't really know what I'm going to see when I look down in the trench yet. Hopefully it's not too bad.